Hello, everyone. My name is Dara. You have just entered the space called Dear Hallmark, where I nerd and I geek out over Hallmark channel movies, TV shows, and stuff. And we're going to be in the and stuff portion for this episode because I'm going to be talking about an UPTV movie called A Honeymoon to Remember. And this movie stars Rebecca Dalton as Ava and Edward Ruddle as Brett and Spencer Lord as Kyle and Jocelyn Gauthier Gauthier, that's the best French I got right now, as Bonnie, Ava's sister, and then Brendan Taylor as John. The short of it is that Ava and Brett get engaged. And Brett's like, I can't do this no more. I don't want to get married to you. And it's probably like a couple of days before the wedding or a couple of weeks or whatever. And so her and her sister decide, let's just go on this honeymoon. I mean, the trip is already paid for. Let's just, let's just go on the trip. So this woman goes on the trip and she meets a guy. Her sister meets a guy. And whilst on said trip, Brett comes. Because he's like, oh, dang, I made a mistake. And so throughout the whole movie, it's her as a ping pong ball being like volleyed back and forth between Kyle and Brett. Y'all. This movie brought up so much out of me. I don't know where to begin. No matter what, this woman predicted, like she could foresee Brett proposing when they were going to dinner. She hired a videographer. She like planned every moment of their engagement. Supposedly like trying to act surprised that she was getting engaged. He doesn't know that she knows. So as he's proposing to her, she's trying to like finagle herself to look right in the camera. Like it's like the romance is just sucked out of it. And she wants the proposal to be so perfect. She's like, no, why don't we go out on the patio? Because she's like, that's how she planned it. When she planned out how she would get proposed to. I was annoyed with her within those first 15 minutes. And then after he proposed, well, no, this is before he proposed. She had already planned out most of her side of the wedding. So they get they get engaged and they have one scene. I don't know if they live together. I wasn't quite sure, but they were both at a house together. I don't know. But, she got papers sprawled all over the place, folders sprawled all over the place. And they're talking about their honeymoon. And so Brett's like, oh, I thought we were going to such and such. And she's like, yeah, I know. And she wanted to enact where she wanted to go anyway. And this is something that he mentioned towards the end of the movie when he was telling her, like when he was trying to get back in her good graces and try to win her back. He was like, I felt like you weren't considering me in any of your plans. Like you had planned out so much. You planned the proposal, you had planned out the wedding, and you planned out the honeymoon, and it was just too much and I just couldn't take it. Heck, like I said, I was annoyed with her by that point. I was like, good, leave, you don't need nobody that, because it came off selfish to me. Like it just came off selfish that if nothing went her way, it wasn't right. Now they had been together for years. They've known each other since high school, been together since high school. So he, from his side, it's like, you should know this about her already. But I think it just came to a head when it came to the proposal, the wedding, and the honeymoon. And so he was just like, I can't do this. And so they go on this resort trip, right? She meets this bum named Kyle. And I'm calling him a bum because he was so extra. I thought it was going to be a legit love triangulate situation. Oh gosh, I was rooting for her fiance the entire time. This dude, Kyle, so he, like, she's walking on the beach. He comes up to her and she assumes that he's going to ask her out. So she's like, fine, I'll get a drink with you. And he was like, actually, I think he worked on like the activities board, or he had some role in the resort. He was trying to get her to get the jet skis. So she said, yes, I'll go jet skiing with you, whatever. He's like, well, I wasn't asking you to go with me. I'm just trying to get people to use the activities here at the resort. But you are beautiful. Like, he just took that chance to shoot his shot. Hashtag Steph Curry. Because it went in. And he ended up asking her out to dinner, and she went to dinner, where all she did was talk about Brett the entire time. So I don't even know how they got to know each other, because then they spend some time. There's this little game there are games being played at the resort throughout, because this resort is like high-key romantic. Everybody booed up, everybody's kissing and hugging and touching, and she's just like, oh my gosh. So they're playing, one of the games that they play is that there are hearts hidden around the resort that they have to find, and they're like construction paper hearts. Whoever finds the most hearts wins some type of dinner. Or I think, was it a dinner? They win something, I don't know. So Kyle and her did this game together, and apparently that brought them closer together, because that was the moment where Brett comes in. And when Brett and Kyle meet, Kyle is just, I'm like, bro, you only knew her for 2.8 seconds. You can't step to this man like you know him. So, Brett is drowning his sorrows in pina coladas or Mai Tais or Long Islands or whatever type of tropical drink that he's sipping on. He is minding his heartbroken business. And Kyle takes the energy in both of his feet and walk it towards Brett's beach chair and says, I'm going to participate in this next contest, and I'm going to take Ava out to dinner. I don't understand. How could you let some woman like this just came out of left field. This wasn't even in the ballpark. This wasn't even in the parking lot. This was from the airport. Like, where did you come from? Nobody sent for you. I saw no UPS memo, no FedEx, wasn't even USPS, not even DHL. Like, Kyle was such an agitator and an instigator. So during the contest was, you literally had to move a pile of sand from one end to the other using this little kiddie pail. And so they're doing that, and he was like, Kyle's kind of antagonizing him. You have so much alcohol in you, you're gonna get, dehydrated, and you won't have enough energy because of the heat. And he's just, again, taunting him, getting all up in his face when Brett fell down. I'm just like, what is the meaning of life right now? What are we doing? And then Kyle gonna want to invite her on a weekend away on a boat, and she gonna want to consider it. Where do they do that at? Now, let me be clear. This movie was fun. The acting was great, but the story, I'm just like, what is happening? What are we doing here? No me gusta. No me gusta nada. I do not like it all. Now, her sister got a little boo thing, and it's so funny because, no, I won't say that, but, she has a boo thing. And so she's getting close to her boo thing while her sister is, betwixt and between these two men. So, which shouldn't have even been a thing at all. Like, I really wish this was done differently. Like, the love triangle aspect. I think that's what was the anchor that made this, it made me feel some type of way. And not in a good, like, December Bride way. Y'all, December Bride is one of my favorite Hallmark Christmas movies. Check out my review of it. It's a bonus episode. Like, it's literally, it was the soft opening for the Dear Hallmark podcast. So click the link in the description to listen to it. Just scroll all the way down. It's like the first one. I did I think 25, 30-minute rant because I had just watched it and I went off. But that was in a good way because that was a good story. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Also, every time I looked at Rebecca Dalton's character, like every time I looked at her face, I kept seeing Victoria Justice. Please tell me I'm not on an island alone here. Also, I want to shout out Martin R., who is a faithful watcher and commenter of the Dear Hallmark YouTube channel, who suggested that I do a video of this, which I'm glad he did, because y'all need to see where I'm coming from with this. Like, now, would I suggest you watch this movie? Yeah. Maybe I feel like this is one of those movies that's going to provoke you to talk back to the screen. You're going to be like, what? Seriously, sir, you're going to walk up to that woman's ex-fiancé who you don't know from a pack of crackers and going to say that you going to take his woman from her? The boldness. The audacity. Ugh. Ugh. Well, that was a honeymoon to remember for sure. I mean, I also want to know how much money she got. That resort was nice. Real nice. But, yeah, that's those, and those are my thoughts on a honeymoon to remember. Yeah, that's all I have to say, y'all. Yeah. I watched it in 2 parts. I watched the first half right after The Presence of Love aired, because that's what I did while I was twisting my hair. I needed something to watch while I twisted my hair. And I was like, okay. So I stopped it right when Brett first finds her at the resort. And she's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing here? Then, fades to black, go to commercial. And then I watched the second half on another day. And I was just like, that second half, I ain't got no more edges. My wig is off. My neck is snapped. It's just, I'm no more. I'm no more. You gotta find my Dara. Like, you gotta put a pin location in for me. I don't know where I am. Y'all, I'm goofing off now. Thank you so much for watching Dear Hallmark. Are you someone who watches UpTV? Let me know where you stand with the UpTV network. Is this your jam, jelly, or Devonshire cream? Like, what are you feeling when I mention UpTV versus Hallmark versus like your GAC? So there's one more movie I have to watch from UpTV, which we'll be talking about next week, called The Wedding Fix, which stars Miss Andrea Brooks, who some people may know. I believe she is Faith from When Calls the Heart, because I'm sorry, I don't watch When Calls the Heart. So I just hear through the grapevine and the apple tree about all the, the goings on in Hood Valley. But I love me some Aaron Krakow and some Chris McFly and some Kevin McGarry, okay? Tell my peoples. And Pascal Hutton and Kevin Smith, tell my people. So, yes. Well, all of the necessary links and stuff will be in the description to the podcast, to the Instagram. Be sure to follow on the Instagram. I'll be doing my first book club live on Tuesday on Instagram, where we'll be talking about the book. I have it right here. Well, the book club is doing book-to-movie adaptations for Hallmark movies. And so the first book-to-movie adaptation we're going to do is Once Upon a Prince by Rachel Hawk. So we're going to talk about the book, talk about the movie adaptation, kind of compare it, chop it up. You know what I'm saying. So be sure to follow for that. And I'll be sure to save the live, so it'll just be up there. And Spring Into Love starts this weekend on Hallmark. So with a second chance at love, I'm excited about that. So that video will be coming out next Tuesday. And other than that, I will talk to you guys in the next video.